What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today is, of course, my player evaluation on the offensive side and the better options that comes into play. Now, I will tell you this. A lot of the things that I felt could be done with this team, some people may not like, but understand this. The goal is to win championships and, to win through the playoffs and win a possible Super Bowl. And sometimes what you have to understand is, especially if this playoffs didn't show you anything, is that you have to have, one, a star quarterback, multiple weapons, and at the same time a running game that's like so devastating that you don't know what to do with it. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. So I'm going to start off with the thing that most people want to start off with, and of course that's the quarterback. I'm going to start there. Of course, Taylor Heinicke, he did a fairly good job for us. I know a lot of y'all didn't like a lot of his play and things like that, but you're talking about the guy is the first quarterback that has thrown for 3,000 yards since Kirk Cousins. And not only that, he's actually one of the only quarterbacks in a very long time that has played throughout all the games. I think he didn't play in one game or got injured or something in one game, but again, you're still talking about a guy who for once we didn't see a multitude of quarterbacks this year, and that was due to the fact that Taylor Heinicke was fairly healthy this year. I mean, he had the one game that he missed, but again, you're talking about 3,000 something yards in one season. We haven't seen that since Kirk Cousins. That's a fairly good thing. Now, I'm not sitting here saying he should be a starter, but again, he's somebody that it actually did look good for us. 20 touchdowns, 15 picks, 65% completion percentage. That was actually fairly good when you think about some other quarterbacks in this league that has played. His numbers are comparable to a lot of these guys. So again, Taylor Heinicke didn't do bad for us. He did win 7 games. 4 of them was based on his back, where he actually went out there and won the games for us. So again, this was not a bad season for Taylor Heinicke, but I understand that it was a bad season overall. But again, Taylor Heinicke did keep us in games and won games for us. But I'm not saying that he should be the starter. I'm definitely saying that he's a very quality backup for us. Kyle Allen, he basically did nothing. Expect that. What's his name? Gilbert Grape sat up there and started the game for us. But Kyle Allen is not a guy that I even want on my quarterback staff. I know a lot of people like him. I don't know why when he hasn't done much of anything. Not only that, Taylor Heinicke beat him out. Like, even though he was injured, I still feel Taylor would have beat him out. And understand that he doesn't bring that really good element that you want when it comes to a quarterback. So for that, these two guys are something. I will say we definitely need to keep Taylor Heinicke on. I would rather him be the guy here to help quarterbacks learn the offense. And at the same time, if a quarterback does go down, at least we know for a fact Taylor can come in and possibly win us this game. So for that, I'm going to talk about the better options that's out there. And there's one option that might surprise y'all. But starting from the top, Russell Wilson. To me, I feel that Russell Wilson is the best fit for this team. The reason why I say that, I don't, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, he's a whiny guy. And I understand that a lot of y'all look at him from the standpoint of, oh, look at his gaudy numbers. But understand this, he's also been the guy that has also held Green Bay back. His lack of not taking less money, which again is not a problem because I'm always supporting players to make the most money. But his lack of not doing that basically destroyed the defenses that Green Bay had built over years upon years. And not only that, he hasn't shown any loyalty to his quote-unquote friends that were on the team. So for that, Aaron Rodgers is not the best fit, but Russell Wilson is. Now, I'm not saying Russell Wilson took less money either, but at the same time, Russell Wilson brings an element that, to me, I feel when it comes to the team atmosphere, he understands that. How many of y'all remember he sat up there and threw, I can't remember the wide receiver's name, he threw him the last pass so he could get a bonus. That type of teammate type of stuff is what you want out of a quarterback. And for me, I think that when it comes to Russell Wilson, he's for the team. So that's the guy I would like. I would desperately want Ron to do everything he could to put all his money and his chips in on trying to get Russell Wilson. The next guy is Deshaun Watson. I like Deshaun Watson, but again, he's practically going to be 2 years removed from football. So you're talking about he probably wouldn't be any good with us year one. So that would be a step that we would have to take if in fact we do get Deshaun Watson and he comes here and we have to deal with that whole aspect. I like Deshaun Watson. I think that he's a fantastic quarterback, and I think that he can do a lot for us. But again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's extremely rusty year one, being as though he's going to be removed from football for about 2 years. So that's the other guy. My last guy is a guy that I feel we should go after this guy. The only reason I say that is because, one, he's probably better than the guys in the draft. He is better than the guys in the draft now. He has some NFL experience. And on top of that, the quarterback that he's behind is actually somebody that's going to be in his way and that everybody wants to make happy. So for that, the guy that I'm talking about is Jordan Love. I know a lot of you may sit up there and say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't look that good and when he came in for Aaron Rodgers. The problem is that he actually did look actually good when he came in for Aaron Rodgers when he played a full game. Understand this. I think Jordan Love is better than what people are letting on for that. And I think Green Bay wants that because, again, you're talking about if they're trying to make Aaron Rodgers happy, your first attempt should be to get Jordan Love. And the reason why that is because if you go get Jordan Love, I think that Jordan Love only needs playing time. I think Jordan Love is, of course, better than the quarterbacks that are currently in this draft. So why not sit up there and go after Jordan Love? You might be able to give up a lesser draft pick for Jordan Love. And not only that, you actually get to get him in and playing immediately. Guess what else? You also get that young quarterback who's still on a rookie deal. So to me, I know a lot of y'all may hear this and be like, nah, not Jordan Love. I think that with Green Bay wanting to bring Aaron Rodgers back, Jordan Love is the approach you should take to get yourself not only a quarterback, but possibly your quarterback of the future. So that's for the quarterbacks. Next, I'm going to go to the running backs. Antonio Gibson did really well this year. You can see his stats. But my problem with Antonio Gibson is that he doesn't look like he's getting that much better year two. I did see an interview where he talked about the fact that he doesn't look at film of other running backs, which I think is the worst thing he could ever do. He needs to get better. He needs to be more solid. To me, I don't see why he doesn't look at film of a counterpart guy like a Jonathan Taylor, or even if he has to look at guys from the past. I have always offered Marshall Faulk. I think that he could be Marshall Faulk. But again, he has to want to do that. He had 6 fumbles this year. I mean, you talking about last year, I think he had 1. Last year, the last season he had 1. This season he ended up having 6. So for that, I'm telling y'all, I mean, he has to get a whole lot better because there's a lot of times he's missing holes. his vision is not the best vision that you want in a running back. Then on top of that, for him to put the added bonus of he doesn't watch film of other running backs, I don't like that. I don't like that statement, because to me, looking at other running backs who have been successful, that is the way to actually go. So Antonio Gibson, he has work to do. J.D. McKissic, again, man, this guy was fantastic. He didn't have a lot of stats for us, but you're talking about a guy who, when he went down, the offense completely changed. And because we lost him so early on, we saw that transition to not having him on the field and how bad it was for us to not have him. Again, Antonio Gibson was around, but he couldn't replace J.D. McKissic. Now, that was something that I got upset about the Washington coaches, because they did not have a backup for J.D. McKissic if he was to go out. But we really found out how valuable J.D. McKissic was this year. And when he went down, that was a bad thing. So hopefully they find a way to re-sign J.D. McKissic, because, again, we need him to make a push for any type of playoffs or any type of Super Bowl appearance. We definitely need him. Last but not least is Jonathan Williams. He was a guy that I said I think that there's something special about him. He looks like he can play the role. Again, he's quick to the hole. He's very decisive. His vision isn't bad by any stretch of the means. I just don't know if we're giving him enough opportunity to actually run the ball. And again, we also got Jared Patterson. He also is a very good-looking young guy who runs the ball, does a good job running the ball. But I'm not certain how much they really rely on these young guys. And to be honest, we'll definitely see how this goes. We need J.D. McKissic back to make this push, but Antonio Gibson has to get better. If he does not get better, trust and believe, we'll be looking for another running back next year. Next is our offensive line. Of course, we have Brandon Sheriff and Cornelius Lucas are our free agents, but I'm somebody who even said the year before, and I'll keep saying it, we can't keep Brandon Sheriff. We just can't. We can't make him the highest paid guard in the NFL. We just cannot do that. We have to find someone else. The benefit that we have is that this draft is loaded with offensive linemen, and we can find special ones in this particular draft. There's some guys that, I do have my eye on, but I think that with the amount of them that is in there, no matter where you find one, you're going to find quality. So for that, we're definitely going to have to find another guard to eventually groom to put into Brandon Sheriff's spot. Again, Charles Leno had a fantastic year for us. Did a very good job on that left side. And again, you're talking about he's following not only a Pro Bowler, but a rookie guy, a young guy, and Christian and Gerard Christian, who was actually playing fairly well, but Ron got rid of. But again, Charles Leno looked very good. Eric Flowers, to me, was our best offensive guard this year. Brandon Sheriff is put out there like he was the best. I mean, to me, I think that Brandon Sheriff kind of got he got the benefit of sacks being applied to others instead of being applied to him. So for that, again, Eric Flowers, to me, played the best of all the offensive linemen. Not only that, other than Charles Leno, but other than that, he also sat up there and played practically all the games, which Brandon Sheriff, to this point, still hasn't done. So, again, I like Eric Flowers. He's here with us. I hope they sign him to an extension because he's a guy that is very valuable. So, I like that. Chase Roullier, our center, did a fantastic job. He did get injured, but the guys that came in after him actually did solid jobs as well. The problem we're going to have is that we're going to have to get rid of one of them. And for me, I guess it'll be Tyler Lawson. Tyler Lawson did a good job when he stepped in for Chase Roullier. But to me, the surprise of the whole thing, hands down, was Keith Ishmael. He played fantastically when he moved to center. Not only that, the fact that he didn't need any type of taps on the arms or taps on the legs and things like that, and he was able to get the snaps off and get everybody set and in their places and in their blocks. That was a fantastic showing by this guy. And again, eventually he's going to be one that we're going to have to eventually talk about him possibly replacing Chase Roullier. So again, Keith Ishmael, hats off to him. He did a great job. Again, like I said, Cornelius Lucas, he's a guy that, again, we need to sign him back. He's a flex tackle, which is excellent for us. A guy that can play the right side and the left side should anybody go down. Not only that, he has also played some guard as well. So, again, his flexibility is much needed when it comes to that. Wes Schweitzer, again, another flex guy. I haven't seen him play tackle, but again, he's a guy that has shown that his value is in the fact that he could be flexed in multiple positions, should it be from either guard position or the center. So he does a fantastic job, and we have to keep this guy around. Sadiq Charles, this is one that I'm disappointed in. I thought Sadiq Charles would have been a lot better, and the fact that he's not developing as well as I thought he was going to develop, it's a huge disappointment. But again, this is his last year to really show that he can play in the NFL and not be an injury guy. I mean, he's been showing that he's injured all the time, and this is one of the ones that's the most disappointing for me, because I really did think that Sadiq Charles was going to be a lot better than he is. And last but not least is Sam Cosmi. Good rookie campaign, got injured, but starting off, he actually did not that. He was a pretty good and solid offensive lineman, flex guy again, and eventually he might flip over to the left side. Not really certain yet, but again, he did a good job. We have a really solid offensive line. The problem is that we need to make sure that they understand that they're protecting a quarterback, but even with that, they may be better. You can see that they're a better offensive line when that quarterback is a scrambler. Next is the tight ends. Of course, we all talked about what happened when Logan Thomas went down, how bad that was that he went down. The fact that we lost all his production when he went down was absolutely insane. And you know, this is one that is painful because, again, you're talking about he's getting up there in age, but at the same time, he needs to be utilized as much as possible. But the problem we had is that once he went down, other guys picked it up. Ricky Seals-Jones did a pretty good job, but he dropped a lot of balls. John Bates came in. He also did a pretty good job. And again, but he's not fully developed just yet. You also got Sammy Reyes and everything. So again, this is a group that you can actually go into the next season with again. But for me, if you want to win championships, you need another legitimate tight end. Somebody who can actually help Logan Thomas be more than what they are. And for me, I'm going to be honest, that guy for me is David Njoku. Njoku, I know most of y'all probably think about O.J. Howard. Not me. I think Njoku would be a better fit for us. Not only that, you're talking about his production. He had 36 receptions, 475 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I'm saying if you put a guy like him beside Logan Thomas, you will have yourself a legitimate threat. And again, whoever is your quarterback, you have another legitimate weapon he can work with. So for me, again, if we're talking about winning championships and going deep into the playoffs, you're talking about we had to bring in a David Njoku to really solidify what's going on in this offense. Now, last but not least are the wide receivers. As you can see from their stats, as you can see that Terry McLaurin is basically the only weapon. That's something we already all knew. You sit up there and you look at things like Adam Humphries. He had a lot of receptions, but he had no touchdowns. Then all of a sudden you look at somebody like DeAndre Carter, who's a very good special teamer when it comes down to it, and did a fantastic job of catching balls out of the when he played on offense, and he had 3 touchdowns. But again, you don't expect for him to have that much production on the offensive side. So for that, as you can see from the numbers, we need another guy, something that is strong to put beside Terry McLaurin. And for me, that guy is, in fact, how everybody else feels. It's Mike Williams. I like Mike Williams. I think that he's good. 76 receptions, 1,146 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That shows how legitimate of a guy he can be. Not only that, you're talking about him being the number 2 guy. So if we can get a number 2 guy that can give us that type of production, we will have a legitimate and solid team. Now, I will say this. By chance, we can't nab Mike Williams or Devontae Adams or something like that. I feel that what we should do is go after a guy that will weaken another team if we actually go after him. And I know a lot of y'all may say, I don't know. But we've seen this guy over time. And I think that we can probably actually get this guy. Not only that, we can get him at a discount, but we've seen him actually be a solid number 2. And that guy is Michael Gallup. I know a lot of people are like, a Cowboy wide receiver. Do we really want to do that? Michael Gallup has shown that he can play when he's healthy. And there's been times where he's been healthy a whole season. But last year he wasn't so healthy. But he still had 445 yards and 2 touchdowns. Understand, if he had played the whole season, these numbers are bigger than what they are. I think last year or the year before he had 1,000 yards. So you're talking about a guy who immediately makes an impact playing opposite Terry McLaurin. And at the same time, again, ups the weaponry on this team. So for that, those are the things that I feel should happen when it comes to the Washington football team on the offensive side of the ball. Y'all tell me what y'all think. For me, I do like Mike Williams. I want us to get Russell Wilson. That has to be goal number 1. If we can't get him, go for Deshaun Watson. If you can't do that, then go after Jordan Love. Again, he has NFL production. I think for him, he gets better as he plays, and that, to me, I felt that was shown. And on top of that, Jordan Love is better than the guys in the draft. But that's my opinion, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Who would you bring in on the offensive side in regards to wide receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen? You tell me. Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.
Clear sky.